Finally, it's time to talk TNA Slammiversary 2013 pay-per-view spoilers and predictions in part 4 here of episode 82 of Smack Talk. So, I'm going to go with the person who's most excited to see this pay-per-view, even more than I am, and that is Payton. What do you think so far?
I don't know. Give me a topic.
How much it sucks?
Aces and eights. Wes Briscoe, Garrett Bischoff, and Mr. Anderson against the awesome team of Magnus, Samoa Joe, and Jeff Hardy in six-man tag team action. What say you, Mike?
Wait, did you say 4 Aces and Eights members against 3 TNA members? Did I hear that correctly?
Three Aces and Eights members. Wes Briscoe, Garrett Bischoff, and Mr. Anderson against Magnus, Joe, and Hardy. What can you say, right? I mean, that's
you got the 3 worst members of Aces and Eights against who? Big Fatty and some guy who hasn't been there in a long time and is probably the only person that most people are ordering this pay-per-view to see.
In a 6-man tag match against 3 schmucks. Because Kennedy's not what he used to be. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Against who, what, and where?
I feel like I'm being too nice about this.
Yeah, I think you are too. Why is he even in Aces and Eights anyway?
He is so out of place. He does not look like a tough guy. He looks like a punk. Like he should be the first guy to be kicked out.
Isn't his hair not even bleached blonde anymore? Fuck it, who cares?
Who are you talking about? Kennedy?
Anderson.
Kenderson?
Yeah, tough biker guys shouldn't be frosting their hair anyway.
Nah, Anderson to me, in Aces and Eights, it's so out of place just the way that D'Lo was.
D'Lo fit better than he did.
That decision was clearly a Hogan decision. That was Ken Kennedy is my guy. We all know that. So I'm gonna put him into this pay-per-view.
I loved him in WWE.
Oh yeah,
Can I just say, like, with the size of D'Lo's body, I can't even buy him being able to ride on a motorcycle, and I think he fits more than Kennedy does.
I don't know who's fatter, D'Lo or Samoa Joe.
Well, D'Lo is wider, but Samoa Joe has bigger tits.
You know what I'm really glad about? And I'm going to say this right now because this is going to happen the whole rest of the event.
Just so they know.
Not the event, the segment. I'm so glad that our fan base is willing to deal with how much we hate TNA. That we don't have the people that go, oh, look at that, a wrestling show.
Yeah,
what the fuck? They don't like TNA? Like,
you know what? I'm gonna defend myself. I don't hate TNA. I was a huge supporter of them for the longest time. It's not even that I hate them anymore. I just don't care. I
wanted to like them until they had Jenna Maraska step foot in a ring, and then that was it.
I was at that pay-per-view, by the way.
Oh,
I feel horrible for you.
That was a rough one.
When Scott Steiner and Booker T are in match of the night against whoever the fuck they were facing that night, that's a god awful pay-per-view. Anyway, now we move on to Jay Bradley versus Sam Shaw.
Before we do that, let's talk some more about Aces and Eights. With the Aces and Eights thing, this is so fucking random that it's almost like what they did was they booked. This is something that bothers me about this whole 4 pay-per-view setup thing. These pre-taped pay-per-views are ridiculous, and I don't see the point in them.
Extravaganza.
I really would have seen a better point in it if those would have been live and on Saturday nights on TV or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to build a whole company around Impact and these 4 big pay-per-views, you need to make these 4 pay-per-views fucking huge. And does this not feel like a card that's thrown together kind of the way that Payback is? Mm-hmm. Or that, like, one of these, like, B pay-per-views from WWE where they're like, what do we do?
Especially the June pay-per-view, for sure. Like, it's just... Well, it's between Extreme Rules and Money in the Bank, so let's just kind of do whatever here.
Mm-hmm.
Still some time.
Yeah, exactly. Kill time.
As far as why they do these pre-tape pay-per-views, it's because of their international deals with pay-per-view. They have to have something on TV to show for their international stuff. They only change their pay-per-view setup for the domestic audience. For international, it's still 12 shows a year, so they have to have something to slot into there, which is why they do the pre-taped ones. So I understand that.
But I don't think that having the pre-taped things is a good idea for the domestic audience. I think that that's kind of just. I mean, we talked about this all before. I don't want to do a whole segment on this. I just kind of think that if you're going to do that, and you're not going to have like this, you buy that as like a live pay-per-view or whatever, then figure out a better way to put it on TV or something like that. And if you're going to do that, you need to make these 4 really important shows. And when we get to it, I can kind of see why they think that some of the matches work with that. But then we're going to point out some other matches that really don't. The 6-man tag thing is complete filler. It's an Impact thing.
That was basically we need to get these guys on the pay-per-view match, which is TNA's MO. I mean, they do that all the time.
I'm just predicting a Jeff Hardy win because he's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious.
To me, that's what...
Yeah, Jeff Hardy all the way.
Jay Bradley versus Sam Shaw, singles match in the Gutcheck tournament final for entry into the 2013 Bound for Glory series. I don't know who the fuck these two are, and I don't care who wins.
Why is it Samoa Joe in this match? If it's a Gutcheck, be like, yep, there it is. All right.
Yeah, you want to talk about who and what and all this other kind of stuff? Sam Shaw and Jay Bradley.
I'll give
Bradley. Are we having a board game match here? Are we play Monopoly on pay-per-view? Is that what's going on?
And is your cable provider Shaw? Like, fuck, I don't know. I don't understand this.
Our new extreme match, Chutes and Ladders.
I'll give them credit on this. They're at least trying to build new talent with this whole Gutcheck thing. They've been trying to. It's been a bit.
Have they? Like, what happened to all the people that have won? Like, I haven't really been paying that much attention, but
they had the tournament. They had all the guys that won come back. They had Alex Silva, Christian York, Jay Bradley, Sam Shaw, all the guys that won Gutcheck came in for this tournament.
Whatever happened to that pretty redhead?
I have no idea.
Red?
No.
No. The chick, the redhead chick, Taylor Hendricks.
I believe they had her on a few other times after that. But my point is that I'll give them an A for effort. They're at least trying to, and this is their big way of trying to build up a new star from scratch with this Gutcheck tournament. Hopefully it'll go somewhere. Even if whoever wins this matchup goes on to the Bound for Glory series, I don't see them making it to the end. But I'll give them props for trying to. As far as who wins, I looked at both of their Wikipedia pages, and it looks like, considering this Jay Bradley guy has had experience in WWE, I could see them wanting to go with him. So I'm going to go with Jay Bradley as my choice.
I am completely going into this blind. I tried to check out Impact a little bit a week or two ago, or I forget when exactly.
You brave soul.
Yeah, it didn't work out well. And I saw something of, I think it was Sam Shaw, a kind of generic looking guy and whatever. Now, I can't obviously criticize what he does in the ring without seeing what, he actually is. So I don't know if these guys can put on a great show, or, there's just an equal chance that they're these like talented young guys that can go out there and kick ass, and that there are these complete flash in the pan, waste of time kind of people. What I don't like about it is the fact that I don't know anything about these guys means that it means nothing to me. And yeah, it means more to the people that watch Impact. So I'll give them that benefit of the doubt, but they're not giving me a reason to watch Impact. So there's no outsider draw for these kind of people. And if you're doing that whole, these are the only shows that we have of the year and all that, it's kind of like if WWE were to cut their pay-per-views down and they would focus on 2 NXT guys. Pretty much. Right now, even if they have NXT guys like Bo Dallas on the Royal Rumble, I was like, why is Bo Dallas on here? I really would have rather seen Goldust pop up, or like the way that they had done that. So whatever. What do you think, Peyton?
All right. Heads, Samuel Shaw. Tails, Johnny Rockets.
Jay Bradley.
Sammy Shaw.
All right, now we're going to move on from Bland 1 and Bland 2.
To Gail Kim versus Taryn Terrell, whoever the fuck that is, in a last knockout standing #1 contenders match to determine the next contender.
Taryn
is
Terrell's
it?
It's Tiffany from ECW.
Speak of the fucking devil.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's
her.
getting a lot of hate from you guys as being, who the hell is this person? You're really forgetting her, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I didn't know she changed her name.
Wasn't she a referee?
Yeah, she started off as a referee. Hot referee, too, man.
Gail Kim wins. Who cares? Moving on.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this match was the #1 contenders match.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this match was a match.
It might not be. We don't know. They have this feud kind of going on. I don't remember how it started. I think it might have started with Taryn, like counting a pinfall for Gail Kim, and she didn't, bitch to complain to the referee and that kind of a thing, which isn't a bad angle to go with.
Typical heel.
Yeah,
bitching.
I'll bite.
It's a slight step up from the storylines that WWE does with their divas.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll always credit TNA for, is their knockouts division is so much better than the divas. And this match, even though it's not going to be fantastic, is going to be better than if we saw Caitlyn defend her title against Oksana.
Oof.
Or Rosa Mendez, or
I'm cringing here.
Any of the people for the most part, other than a handful of names.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter who's in the ring. It's always going to be the bathroom break.
Yeah, it always will be. And that's just the way that it is. I mean, if I am able to take a bathroom break during this whole thing, it actually isn't going to be my bathroom break for this pay-per-view, because there's one other match coming up that
You're going to watch it?
There's more so than this. There's a match that I
Wait a minute. You guys care more about Bradley versus Shaw than you do Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell?
That's not the match. There's a match I care even less about.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Gutcheck match you're completely indifferent towards, whereas this upcoming match you have absolutely no interest in seeing whatsoever, correct?
Yeah, there's a thing with the Gutcheck one where it's that I don't know kind of a thing.
Let me see what these guys can offer.
Yeah, I've never seen these guys wrestle, so who knows? Maybe they're going to be these really interesting kind of guys. You guys can tell us in the comments if it's something to look forward to, or if I'm going to be wanting to blow my brains out on Sunday night. But since I don't know, I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. Gail Kim and Taryn, I've seen them both. I'm not really that into it, but there's one match coming up that I really, if I had a fast forward button, I would skip through that thing as fast as I possibly could. I'm expecting the Gail Kim and Taryn match to get a decent amount of time for the knockouts and to not be one of the better knockouts matches, but it'll do itself justice. I really would rather them have a knockouts championship match for one of these big pay-per-views, kind of.
They actually just did that. This past Impact had Velvet versus Mickey for the championship, and I think Mickey won the matchup.
That's what I don't like about the Big Four thing. Then why not have the championship defended on there? They could have had Gail Kim and Taryn on Impact.
Because Impact is more important.
Yeah, it is.
Right,
in the long run, it makes them slightly more money. I mean, they're trying to change that now with the 4 pay-per-view setup. They're trying to make the pay-per-views special so that they actually build up a credibility and make money. But right now, Impact makes them more money through their television deal.
Good point. Keep that in mind. X Division Championship. Kenny King, who I actually think is entertaining, against Chris Sabin, who I didn't know was back. I thought that he was...
Hail, Sabin!
And Suicide.
Ultimate X. For the
Who
X
was
Division
playing
title.
Suicide right now, by the way? I don't know.
T.J. Perkins.
Who?
A restaurant?
He's a independent wrestler. Used to do some work in Ring of Honor. He's not bad.
I'm curious, was he part of the Gutcheck thing, and they kind of just gave him that as something to do?
I believe it might have been. Let me check his wiki page, because I've got Wikipedia up right now. Let's see.
That would make sense to me.
He's done some work with TNA. He was in the World X Cup a few times. Let's see. Sporadic appearances.
As much as people can run us down and go, why are you talking about TNA if you don't really know much about TNA? Well, then we're a wrestling show. Shut up.
Nah, he's done.
No, that's not good enough. Why are we talking about TNA? Why?
Just period.
Obviously, none of us here are actually paying well enough attention to what's going on.
Oh, come on. I'm clearly invested in the show.
Yeah.
100%.
He's mostly just done dark show matches for TNA, and I think he did the TNA he did a X Division pay-per-view matchup for them. But other than that, no, this is the first big thing he's done with them since the World X Cup.
I think Kenny King retains here anyway. So
I'm thinking Kenny King either retains or it goes to Chris Sabin.
Here's why I'm going to go with Chris Sabin. Is they still have that aspect of the X Division title where you can trade it in for a shot at the TNA title. I know they said it had to be at Destination X, but I can see TNA changing that and saying, well, since we don't have Destination X...
Well, whoever's the champion by so-and-so will get...
Yeah. And Chris Sabin just came back after a 2-year hiatus. 2 blown-out quads, I think, was his injury, or blown-out knees.
He blew both of his ACLs out, I think. He ripped up both his knees.
2 blown-out bongs.
2 blown-out ACLs. 2 blown-out ACLs. He's a fan favorite. I can see a situation where they build up between now and Bound for Glory, like for one of these impacts coming up, a program between Sabin and Bully Ray. It fits to me. You know, Sabin says he's going to cash in his X Division title. Bully Ray beats him down, and it leads to some type of big matchup that they think will pop a big rating. So for that, I'm going to go with Chris Sabin.
I'm going to go with Sabin basically because of the fact that he's been gone, and TNA, they've had the title on Kenny King for a little bit of time, so it's not like he just won it yesterday and they're having him drop it now. He could drop it right now, and he could gain it back again in the future, and it's not going to hurt him, especially if he loses to somebody like Chris Sabin. Now, if he loses it to Suicide, it might seem a little bit weird. But I think Suicide is more so in there because they just still have the rights to the name, and they figure maybe we'll get some money out of it.
I've always wondered why they didn't push merchandise for Suicide as hard as they should have. Like, I never saw Suicide masks. I never saw Suicide hoodies that you can zip up in the front, and then it makes the mask up front there. I never saw any of that back when Suicide was in his prime when the TNA game came out. I never understood that because that's basically why they made Suicide in the first place. They wanted something they could market stuff. They want market toys for and hoodies and things like that.
Maybe they didn't have enough money to make it.
It's too bad because I think Suicide had potential to be, at least if nothing else, something they can market a toy off of.
To some extent, more potential than Sun Cara.
Yeah.
Maybe that new WWE guy, Samoa de Sol or whatever. I don't know how to.
Samurai del Sol.
Samurai? Is that what it is? Huh.
Yeah, Samurai del Sol. It's not spelled like samurai, but it's pronounced samurai.
He looks kind of cool, so we'll see. What do you think, Peyton? Any thoughts about this match?
Heads, Chris Sabin. Tails, King Conebar. Chris Sabin.
And coming up after this is the ever so prestigious television championship match between Devon and Joseph Park.
AKA the match that I was talking about.
I knew it.
Yeah, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Give me a fucking break. Why is Devon still the TV champion? Why is Joseph Park still a character? Why is he getting a championship match?
When Abyss is back.
And you know what is more important? Why is he going to fucking win this championship match?
You think he is?
Won't. No,
I think Devon's going to retain.
I think he's fucking winning it.
I don't think so. First off, I know why they're doing it is because Joseph Park has kind of created this cult following behind himself. I've heard a lot of people say good things about him. They like his character. The guy behind it, I don't know what Abyss's real name is. We'll say Chris Parks.
Chris Parks.
Yeah, Chris Parks. He's really gotten that character over, and his segments are very entertaining. And this is a joke matchup. You know, you're going to see Joseph Park in there. He's going to fumble around and pretend to wrestle.
Do his whole best Santino shtick that he can do, pretty much.
Yeah, this is the joke matchup. All right, and I don't think TNA is dumb enough to actually. Well, I got to be careful saying that, but I hope that TNA is not dumb enough to give one of their titles to Devon, even as low credibility.
Joseph Park. Devon is already the champion.
To Joseph Park. As little credibility as the TNA TV title is, it would ruin it even more if they put it on Joseph Park. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to have something where Joseph Park maybe is about to win, and then one of the Aces and Eights guys hits him over the head or something, and then somehow they have Abyss come out, because they've done that before. They've had somebody dressed up as Abyss come out and interfere. And there's going to be shenanigans, but I think Devon's going to walk out the champ.
It's actually just Doc. As fake Abyss.
He was fake Kane.
Yeah, I know. That's my point.
I just have this gut feeling that we're getting this dumb fucking Joseph Park match again, where like you said, he stumbles around and he hulks up, and it's like, oh my god, I did a hip toss.
Oh my gosh, I pulled off a black hole slam. How was that inside of me?
I'm going to start to punch, and oh my god, I'm punching, and it's working, and all this other kind of crap. And he has this face that he makes when he does that. He looks like, those little punching bag things that you would give to a little kid, where you could put it on the floor, and it was like a very tame kind of punching bag. It wasn't like a standard punching bag, but it would have a little face of like a clown or something on it.
And the mouth would be a perfect circle.
Yeah, it would be something like that.
Like
but like a deflating one.
Or heads or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
He's a simple character, though. Like,
at least it's not a tuxedo match.
Yeah. Oh,
well, you don't know.
Don't you say that, because somebody from TNA might be listening, and you know they would do that.
There's time
I'm
to
not
book
even
it.
Gonna joke about that.
Right on the spot. Let me tell you something, brother. We're going to make this match so much better. We're going to make it a tuxedo match, brother.
Yeah.
Like, God,
you think they struck gold with Santino and Ricardo Rodriguez, brother? Well, Devon and Joseph Park and put it up 10 notches, brother.
Yeah. See, I'm worried, though, that we're going to get that same kind of a match, and it's just bullshit, and I don't want to fucking see it again. And it's going to end with Joseph Park being the champion, because I think TNA is just the type that would do it. And WWE would, too. That's the thing. Where they would go, this character's kind of catching on. It might be fun to give him a championship, because we don't, everything is so serious, and let's just do the fun thing. Like when how many people thought
every Santino reign ever, basically, is like
how many people thought that Hornswoggle was ever going to be the cruiserweight champion and the final cruiserweight champion of all?
I don't want to remember that. Thank you, Tony.
How many people thought that the whole story of McMahon's kid was going to be Hornswoggle? Like, these companies,
that was by accident, though, because we all know
Kennedy would have been the kid if he didn't get suspended. I'm fairly certain that was the direction they were going to go.
Yeah, but they could have gone with anybody on the not the pay-per-view, anybody on the roster.
Let's troll the fans with the little leprechaun, fuck.
Right. So if I could prevent this match from happening, and even if it would be like a 20-minute segment where there would just be a black screen that said watch Impact, I probably would like it better than this match.
They put on an old tape from like an 06 pay-per-view. Like, oh, we've got, A1 versus Petey Williams for the TNA X Division title. Like, oh, I'll watch that.
I would rather watch a 20-minute Freight Train promo than to watch this match.
Freight Train.
I would rather watch the footage that I still haven't uploaded yet, because I can't switch it from VHS over, of myself wrestling as The Undertaker against my friend dressed up as Bret Hart when I was a little kid, than to watch this match. And let me tell you, that was awful.
Biker Taker or Old School Taker?
Oh, Old School Taker. I had my little rub-on tattoos and everything.
Did you have purple gloves?
No, I didn't have purple gloves at the time. But I did have a wig, so... yeah, I have no interest in this match at all. But I want to know what Peyton thinks.
What was the match again?
Devon and Joseph Park for the TV title.
All right, heads Devon, tails Central Park. Devon.
See, I'm going with Devon too.
Devon.
I do not see them putting a belt on fucking Joseph Park, that's for sure.
All
right. As we move on to the next match, the Spirit of Eddie Guerrero will be teaming up with Hernandez to defend against Daniels and Kazarian, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, and James Storm and Gunner in a fatal four-way elimination tag match for the tag titles. James Storm and Gunner? When did that fucking happen?
I'm so disappointed they couldn't get Chris Harris. I would have liked to have seen Chris Harris pop up with James Storm. One night only AMW reunion. I'm in. I'm down for that.
He's got to go under the name Braden Mayhew.
Don't slander my name with that awful Braden Walker gimmick. It's not even spelt the exact same. I feel offended.
Poor guy.
What did he say? Something like, My
I'm
name's
gonna
Braden
beat your
Walker,
brains
and I'm
in.
gonna,
I'm gonna knock
kick
your
your
brains
teeth in or
out.
something.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna split you in half.
knock, knock. Who's there? I'm Braden Walker, and I'm gonna knock your brains out. Is exactly what he said.
I would rather watch that for 20 minutes than that Jurassic Park match.
Anyway, this
I think-
probably has the makings to be one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah.
Of course, the spirit of Eddie Guerrero and his Mexican counterpart, Super Mex, will, of course, retain the championships. If they were smart, they'd put them back on Daniels and Kaz, but whatever, they won't.
I think if they were smart, they'd put it on Aries and Roode. I'm surprised they haven't put the belt on those two
I
yet.
think they're not putting them on them for a reason, especially with all the Aries controversy as of late, even if it's real or not. But
I don't want Aries and Roode to get those titles. I want them to stay singles competitors, and the same kind of works with James Storm and Gunner. This might be a chance for Gunner to do something better if he's improved. But if he hasn't, then I don't see the point in really like wasting any time on him. As far as Bad Influence go, I like them. I think that they're actually one of the better tag teams that is in wrestling right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to the spirit of Eddie Guerrero and Hispanic Matt Morgan, I don't know exactly how far they're planning on building the two of them, but I'd be fine with them keeping the tag titles.
And I think they are. I don't see Daniels or Kaz getting them back.
And I think that this is going to be one of three potential matches of the night. I think that the X Division Championship match might be good.
You know what? If I were booking, I would have Aries and Roode doing it just because I like that tag team. I think they've got a good chemistry with each other. What I think might end up happening, and I have a sneaking suspicion they might hotshot the belts onto them, I'm going to go with James Storm and Gunner. I have a feeling they're bringing back Gunner. They've made a big deal about it. I have the sneaking suspicion they're going to hotshot the belts onto them just because they've had the belts on Spirit of Eddie Guerrero and Mexican Matt Morgan for long enough as is. I think they're going to freshen things up and put the belts on Storm and Gunner. A, to freshen them up, and B, to give them something to do.
Hispanic Matt Morgan. Okay, Peyton, you might need to have like 2 coins out for this one because it involves 4 teams.
No, it's fine. All right. Heads Vicky Guerrero, tails James Storm and Gumby. James Storm and Gumby.
You know what the sad part is? Peyton's not even flicking the he can't even put up enough effort to flick the coin in the air. He's just throwing it in the air.
And now let's relive this match for the 1000th time, except this time it's a little different. The brooding and, outcast AJ Styles takes on Kurt Angle for the 1000th time on pay-per-view, except AJ's kind of evil and he's kind of to the side. And he's not on anybody's team.
Except
he's fighting TNA, but he's also fighting aces and eights.
The only difference this time is that AJ Styles has been infected with the Venom symbiote.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of that, everybody, you need to go to Fanboys Anonymous.
AJ, I think will get the win.
Yeah, I have no interest in this. I do think it could be one of the matches of the night, because just the quality that these two guys
ain't fucking saying much compared to the rest of the card now, is it?
Yeah, that's another thing too.
And to be fair, though, it's going to be the same matchup we've seen with them. It's going to be the exact same one. We know what we're going to see.
This is going to be a match where either the referee gets knocked down, and that's the referee's getting knocked down at some point. It happens at every fucking pay-per-view with TNA. The referee's getting knocked down either in the Bully Ray match or the AJ Styles match. But if that doesn't happen, or even if it does, this is going to be the match where they both kick out of each other's finishers over and over and over again. We'll have, he's in an ankle lock, and he got out of it, and he gave him a Pele kick, and it was 1, 2, he kicked out. And he picked him up, and he gave him an ankle
every
slam.
near fall gets, exaggerated that much more by being, oh my God, he kicked out of this.
And then Taz is sitting there, and he's like, because that's how fucking Taz does. He stumbles over all of his words and calls people the wrong names and everything. I tell you,
that Kurt Styles against AJ Angle. I mean, he's something, isn't he?
Yeah. I still say my favorite Taz quote is the enigmatic assholes, and he's like, I like that name. I'll just call them assholes. So fucking great. Yeah, this is gonna be a boring kind of match from the standard of we've seen it 1,000 times, and it's kind of like if you have uh like the John Cena match that everybody's like, well, we know what's gonna happen. He's gonna get his ass kicked, and then he's gonna fight back, and he's gonna win. And the matches between anybody for the most part, if you keep doing too much of them, you're gonna get bored with it. So I don't really want to see this anymore. And the fact that AJ has this kind of emo thing going on does not change his wrestling style to the point where,
AJ.
yeah, it's just, it'll be a match that they really build as being like one of their main events. And on this card, it really is. But
that ain't saying much. So.
Yeah. So for diehard TNA fans, they're probably eating this all up, and I really hope that it's as good as you guys are expecting it to be, for your sake, and for my sake, because if it is as bad as it could potentially be, then there's going to be a lot of arguments with people that are like, best fucking match ever, and me going, I've seen it before. What do you think, Peyton?
Heads, the real best in the world. Tails, AJ Punk. AJ Punk.
I think we're gonna go with AJ Lee.
I'm actually gonna tweak this a little bit. I think this is gonna end in a no contest somehow. Somehow this is going to end, and I think I can see a situation where they both hit their moves at the same time. They both get counted out, or one guy has the other pinned while the other guy has him in a like some type of submission maneuver, and they both tap out at the same time, the 3 count. There's going to be something to where there's not going to be a clean end to this matchup, because I don't see either way this is going to further a storyline. If Kurt Angle wins, so what? If AJ Styles wins, so what? So I think the only way it makes sense to me is to have some type of no count out.
Though, it's like, so what?
True, but it feeds into AJ Styles, doubting himself. If you have him lose to Kurt Angle, it kills AJ Styles. If you have AJ Styles beat Kurt Angle,
what's the point of him being emo?
Yeah, what's the point of him being emo? So I think there has to be some type of no count out finish.
Maybe the Aces and Eights comes out and attacks both of them, and no contest.
Possibly, yeah. Either it's interference or
that sounds like a casual TNA finish. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see either a finish where they both get each other out or interference, but I don't think there's going to be a winner to this matchup.
I'm going to move on from
we go
as pull a little bit of a Peyton here and move on from AJ Lee and Kurt Axel to the TNA Championship, Bully Ray and Sting, and
in a no-holds-barred epic contest for the world title. And if Sting loses, he can no longer have any more world title matches in his career.
Until the next time that they decide that they want to do it at Bound for Glory.
Fucking Bully Ray retains. Sting should not be having the title at this point in his career. It's not going to be all that good. It's typical Slammiversary main event. Blah, 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 blah. Same shit that happened with Bobby Roode last year, though I don't know if the title was exactly on the line. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Enough world title matches for Sting.
Yeah, I'm tired of Sting being the be-all, end-all for TNA storylines. It seems like every year it builds up to an inevitable match with, Big Baddie number 347 against Sting. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I want there to be another be-all, end-all. Hopefully it's not Hogan.
Oh, dear Lord Almighty, if that's at Bound for Glory, brother.
I
don't even want to joke. Yeah, I don't even want to joke about that. But
it's gonna be Joseph Park.
The fact that they put this, if Sting loses, he can't win a world title stipulation. If this were WWE, it would almost signify that Sting has to walk out the champion. This is TNA we're talking about, though, so it makes too much sense to have Bully Ray have the belt. But then again, that's never stopped TNA, so I'm just gonna play it safe and go with Bully Ray.
Yeah, I'm not. I do not see any benefit to putting the fucking world title on Sting. Fuck that. And there's no point.
No, Bully Ray has to win this match, and more importantly, Bully Ray has to beat Sting.
Yeah.
They can't just do this kind of crap where it's like,
the Aces and Eights hit Sting, and the referee didn't see it. He's knocked out. And Bully Ray steals a victory. Sting screwed out of world title matches for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I don't want I don't mean to say like Bully Ray has to just whoop Sting's ass and beat him.
No, just beat him clean in the middle of the ring and finish the old guy off.
Yeah.
He has to look dominant. He has to look dominant in this matchup because it's already a bit of a belief to have him with the belt as is. But if he has to fluke finish this matchup, it's just going to make him look even more Bush League.
One thing that I would like to see, and I don't think this would end up happening or whatever, if they do somehow build up to, like, the whole point of this was that Bully Ray drops the title at Bound for Glory to somebody, what I would really like to see is that he drops it to AJ Styles, and he drops it to AJ because of this whole he has no allegiance thing, where Bully Ray and AJ Styles have a lumberjack match. And the lumberjack match is one side is all the Aces and Eights people, and the other side is all like TNA people. And you can do something where AJ has like nobody. Like it's kind of like they're backing AJ, but AJ's like fuck you all or whatever like that. And you can really you could build to something like that, I think, by having a kind of cool thing happen with this, where what if, just as a what if, since this is a no holds barred match, what if the whole match Aces and Eights was out and they didn't do anything to Sting? They just watched. I think that that'd be kind of cool, personally. Just have them out there as this ominous thing that Sting is always looking around, just going like, who's going to hit me next? And they don't even have to touch him. And you could even be like, oh, well, that caused such a distraction, and that's why he had the upper edge on Bully Ray, on Sting. I think that would be a decent way of doing that, instead of just having Bully Ray comes out, he fights with Sting, they start off the match by attacking each other before they're even in the ring, and they go walk to the side with the fans and smack each other against the barricade a couple times, and they come back in, and it looks like Sting's going to win, and then, oh, here comes an Aces and Eights member, and he comes and he hits him over the head with a ratchet or something like that, and then that's the end of the match, and god damn it, you screwed Sting. I don't want to see that.
As far as your standing silent idea, I don't think they've booked Aces and Eights that smart enough to do it. I'm serious. I don't see Aces and Eights as the cerebral type. They really are just, here's a hammer, bang. They don't take their time and pick their wounds like somebody smart would. They're basically bikers with hammers. So I don't think that would fit, even if they did do that.
What would you guys like to see with this match, other than Bully Ray retain?
Nothing
Another
else
match.
because it does not interest me in the slightest bit. Why is Sting back in the world title picture? There's just no point. It's ridiculous at this point.
What do you think, Peyton? Who's going to win?
Well, heads, I don't care. Tails, fuck the TNA. Oh, look, the coin landed on its side. I guess it's both.
All right, guys. As always, even though it's going to be torturous, you can check out the pay-per-view live coverage on smarkoutmoment.com in the link below, and follow along with it in the chat. I'll be paying more attention to the chat probably than the pay-per-view, because just, you know what I mean. But keep me busy. I'm going to be...
Guys, find a pretty girl. Ask her out for Sunday night. You'll be much happier, I promise.
And if you're really into this pay-per-view, I really hope that it's good for you and you're not disappointed the way that I think that everybody else will be. That does us in for TNA Talk, and next week we will review The Inevitable. And that means that the only thing that we have left are plugs, of course. We start off with the Sign Me Up initiative. Bring a Smark Out moment sign to any kind of wrestling event. And, or you know what? Hell, for this week, bring a sign to Slammiversary and say some of the shit that we said. And I'll take the picture or video of it that you send to me and put it up on Smack Talk and Smark Out Moment. Remember, guys, of course, as I threw out earlier with that Venom joke, fanboysanonymous.com if you're a fan of any of those kind of things. We're adding more categories to the website as it is. So if you're a fan of music, or if you're a fan of literature or cosplay or anything like that, You can apply to be a writer, or you can just check out the site and read what we have to say about different things. Everything from why the Wii U is a dumb name to video games that should have a sequel and movies that should be pirated and TV shows that suck and, the best thing going on in comic books today and so on and so forth. One thing to look forward to with Fanboys Anonymous is this month, one of the podcast editions that we're going to do is going to be about the new Superman movie, Man of Steel. So if you're looking forward to that, stay tuned for that. Check out the Bleacher Report card, as I mentioned. Check out outonlimbs.com. I don't know when I'm going to post up something next, but it'll happen. Pass it along now, and let's go with Braden.
Of course, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's, of course, www.youtube.com/SpoonBeast for everything recent in terms of Nintendo gaming as we build up as super close to E3. Next week, I'll be covering event preview, and the week after that, it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff because it's going to be spanned over the course of 3 days. First day being Nintendo, and I'm not sure when Sony or Microsoft are doing their presentations. But, of course, that's all not next week, but the week after. So next week is just strictly previewing the event itself. Of course, as Tony mentioned earlier, please visit www.fanboysanonymous.com for all things geek, where we all provide articles, content, all that sort of stuff. The more people we get to contribute to that website, the better. And, of course, keep staying subscribed and tell your friends about Smack Talk here on Smark Moment. It's a great pleasure to do this every week. And we do it for, all of the fellow wrestling fans that listen to us week in and week out. It's the best thing to drive discussion here on YouTube.
All right, Miguel.
Check out fanboysanonymous.com. I just put up. Well, I didn't just put it up. I put it up about Thursday. I put up my latest column, 90s Kid Presents. I reviewed Croc, Legends of the Gobos for the PlayStation. And sometime next week, I'll be putting up the next episode. I'm doing an SNES title, Super Nintendo. Haven't figured out which one, though. But once I do, you guys will be able to see it, and you'll be able to check it out. And since Burhan isn't here, and, since somebody needs to help plug him out, check out his Nerd Genius website, nerdgenius.com, and check out his I Got Gaming podcast. Tomorrow is the next recording, so I don't know when it's going to be up after that. But, check out I Got Gaming and nerdgenius.com, and that's pretty much it. And no, I'm not plugging Team Jester's.
I was waiting for it.
But just by mentioning it, you are. You don't realize it. You're subconsciously still doing it.
Yeah, I know.
All right, flip a coin with us, Peyton. You're next.
I don't have to flip a coin for this. Okay. So
whether or not to plug.
I have so much to talk about right now. I'm going to first plug Keeping Kayfabe, which is a wrestling podcast I come from, and it's where wrestling is still real to us.
Damn it.
I have my own wrestling show. Usually I'm a lot more energetic about things. This is just
you
a
don't
very
talk about
particular
TNA
episode.
for one thing, so.
Yeah, there's no talk of TNA. What we usually do is we pick a match from the past and we talk in depth about the importance of that match and what happened in it and the impact that it had on people's careers. This week we talk about Wild Pegasus versus the Great Sasuke, which was the finals of the 1994 Super J Cup. Wild Pegasus you may know better as Chris Benoit, so certainly be on the lookout for that. Next week we're going to be talking about Sting versus Hulk Hogan from Starrcade 1997. So that should certainly be a fun conversation. We are a live show, live Thursdays at 9 p.m. That's actually the exact same time that Impact is on, so if you want something better to get yourself immersed in that's wrestling related, tune in to Keeping Kayfabe live at blogtalkradio.com/Dream Elite. That's Dream Elite Radio. And speaking of Blog Talk Radio, I'm happy to announce that I'll be launching a radio station of my own called Mega Powers Radio. Many of you outside there may not know that we have a little code name for the alliance between Keeping Kayfabe and Smark Out Moment that we call the Mega Powers. And as such, I'm deciding to launch a station that could feature everyone involved inside the projects that is among everybody in this group. So you're going to be seeing shows like Miguel was trying to push there. I Got Gameplay. Sorry, I didn't want to just talk over you about that. Yeah, I Got Gameplay, which will be featured on Mega Powers Radio. Not sure what night that's going to be on, but that'll be a gaming podcast. We're also going to be doing what is going to be our first show, I believe, on there, pay-per-view pre-shows. And we're going to have one coming up for the Payback show June 16th, starting at 7 p.m. We're going to be doing a live pre-show where you could call in, talk to us about predictions or whatever else is going on there. We're also going to be doing Raw post shows. So there's going to be a lot of chance for you guys to finally call in and get involved in the show, talk to us, voice to voice. And the last thing I want to push is Newbie TV, www.new-b.tv. I know it's a cockamamie thing. You can just go to facebook.com/newbtv, NEWB-TV. That is a web channel of original video content that I produce. It's basically original episodes that are influenced from various video games. And I have a shoot coming up in about 6 hours, actually, for episode 2 of Two Oaths at Lawn Chairs, which should be out before the summer's over. It's going to be Grand Theft Auto, set in my very own backyard of Newburgh, New York. And if you don't know much about Newburgh, New York, it is the highest crime rate per capita in New York State. So we got some issues over here. So Grand Theft Auto should fit in quite well there. And I feel like I've been talking forever. I will also echo Fanboys Anonymous. I wrote one article there so far. I plan to write more eventually, but it's a great project being put together there. I got gameplay, Keeping Kayfabe, Newbie TV, Smark Out Moment. Oh my God, there's so much going on around here.
We have way too many plates that we're spinning, and not enough food on them, so we need to call Curry Man.
We need you to start donating is what we need. Fans, if you're out there and you want to donate some money so we can keep the lights on and the show going, we'll have to set something up like a PayPal or something.
Actually, there is something on the Smark Out Moment one. The the Tony Mango needs a new computer fund.
Well, yeah, donate to that. We'll funnel some money from that towards the shows. We'll
I think it might actually go to his computer, though. You know, that's
it's fine.
I didn't really want to make an announcement about it yet, but since we're talking about it, something I have been considering for Mega Powers Radio, rather than getting annoying sponsors that we have to shout every week, I've been considering doing one of those Kickstarter deals that I see everyone doing.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, and you know what, obviously, I mean, we're not going to sit there and like peddle you guys for money and all that kind of stuff, but
but if you like us and you want to see us continue to grow,
yeah, we got people that have been great, and donating stuff to my little fund. And as I mentioned before, every time that happens, I'm just like, oh my God, people actually like this and stuff like that. But, one of the things that really helps us out a lot is when you guys like the Facebook pages and follow the Twitter accounts and tell your friends and you tell your, coworkers and you spread it around. And, I actually, one of the things that I track really well, that works really well, I should say, is when people go on like forums and they're just like, hey, these guys are awesome, check them out. I mean, I get a lot of hits for Out on Limbs just from people that find my articles about these are some stupid baby names that I don't like, and they go to a baby name forum and they're like, this is funny, check that out. And 10 Reasons I Hate Twitter, that caught on mostly because people on Twitter fan boards and stuff were like, oh, this is why I hate Twitter, check that out and everything. So anything you guys do to help us out and all that, we're always greatly appreciated for, and it always goes a long way. So anything that you guys can think of, help us out, and we'll take that in turn and make everything that much better and that much more entertaining for you guys. More coming our way when it comes to all of these shows throughout the week. Next week we will have the TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view review. We will have the SCAM and the hot tags, and of course all the other segments that we usually have, but also the top rope list. So get your list ready. We're going to start talking about that. 6-7 days.
Hold on, that does remind me. I won't be coming to next week's show. I just remembered. They have me working Friday, unfortunately, so I won't be there permanently. But I'm gonna see if during one of my break times I can call in because I have Skype on my phone. Maybe I'll see if I can pop in and join in. But I won't be actually at the show next week.
All right, so everybody listen to us make fun of Miguel when he's gone. I'm just kidding.
That's all right. I know it's
fun when he's here.
They needed extra people, and I'm broke and need some extra cash, so I offered to come in on an extra day.
And donate to the Help Miguel Fund.
To be fair, Peyton, you've been saying he's the Virgil to stepping up in front of DiBiase as of late, or however the fuck you're pronouncing it. Yeah, when it comes to Jester.
All right, guys, that is going to do us in for episode 82, otherwise known as episode 85, as I said earlier. Episode 85 coming in a couple weeks from now. We will see you then. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out. See you next time, everybody.
This is it.
The end of the show, a closing segment that makes you laugh. Parodying every theme off the top of our heads. Doom, 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 doom. We always have fun again for years to come. A broken outro loved. Doom, 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 doom. Here they go. My theme they do before I even have the chance to debut. You couldn't even wait a week before deciding to take the piss. Because you're always having fun again for years to come. Your broken outro loved.
That was just as creepy as what it's going to be.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Good night, everybody.
Braden Wyatt, everybody.